isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
And welcome to a brand new episode of Crush This Live. I am the monster truck conductor Brad Shaw, and with me as always is Mr. Dan Chichagash. Dan, how's it going, buddy? Oh, I can't hear you, Cheech. No, I can't hear you. Oh. Oh boy. Technical difficulties. Can't hear Cheech. Don't know what's going on. There. Oh. Can't hear you. Oh, Cheech should be back. She should be back. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crush This Live. It's going to be another good episode. We're talking to Kraehmer here in a little bit, doing our interview series for the 4-wheel Jamboree. Lots of exciting stuff. Oh, Cheech is back. Let's see if his... Hey!
All right. Got it fixed. All right, audio.
He's back.
I don't... Stupid air punches.
The typical Cheech air punch. How's it going today, buddy? How's everything going up there in Champaign?
Actually, technically where you live, I'm actually down.
Well, you know what I mean.
Anyway, I'm doing pretty well. Doing good. The same old right now with what's going on with work, but we'll get the ball rolling. It's getting closer to time to July, and in July that means some 4-wheel drive jamborees, some dealerships, some stuff like that going on. RC racing is going on too. Last weekend, I didn't talk about Tuesday, but I guess I gotta show some love. We went to JB Scale Graphics home headquarters, and we did some RC racing. Big pack, about maybe 50 or so sport mods, 40 old school, and maybe some like 30 or 40 pro mods. But I made it to the Sweet 16 in one event, in both events. Finished 6th in freestyle. Can't complain. The tricks are all in one piece. And ready for next time, which will be July 5th. But shout out to the guys that are watching also. I did get a chance to update since sorry for our sponsor deals with J Concepts and JB Scale Graphics. I'm sorry about that, but gotta give some RC love. Which you know what, we were talking about it earlier, and for the next Thursday installment. That Thursday you were talking about, Brad?
Yeah.
I'm going to pronounce this live. I think I'm going to do a little roundtable, live Facebook roundtable with some RC racers. Maybe get the bug into some guys and see if they want to, if you want to get the step in doing motor control, monster truck racing and stuff like that. We're going to get a group of people over and talk about it. So that will be in the next couple weeks. But yeah, Brad, how's you're getting the little itch, aren't you?
Yep. I'm ready to go to some shows. Hopefully, the Monster Truck Throwdown show in Edmonton doesn't get Oh, what are you doing? Hopefully
my paper.
Hopefully, the Monster Truck Throwdown show in Edmonton doesn't get canceled. That would break my streak of going to shows for the year for probably the last 6-7 years. So I'm in needing of some methanol horsepower therapy soon. But hey, up here in Canada, it's going good.
Eggnog. No.
It's a beautiful day up here in Canada. It's actually for you guys in America, it's 75 degrees, 23 degrees Celsius here. So it's a nice day here. It's beautiful weather. Off work early today, so just been hanging out and getting some stuff done. But let's quickly play the video for Joey Sylvester, High Octane Coffee. The Outlaw Monster Truck Drags filming has already been done. It's going to be live on Fight TV very soon. We're excited. I'm hoping to do kind of a live show after each episode to kind of go over what happened, what I thought of it. And yeah, as soon as we play the video, we'll be back and we'll introduce our guest. And with our guests, the last couple of weeks, we've been talking to the competitors of the four-wheel off-road Jamboree series. And we've already talked to Joey, obviously. And we also talked to Mark Hall on Tuesday. And today we'll have our guest coming up after the video. So stay tuned, guys. And here we go.
Rebellious, unconventional. A new breed of monster truck competition is coming to Fight TV June 29th. The Outlaw Monster Truck Tracks. Presented by High Octane Coffee. Catch Samson, Stinger, Rap Attack, Pretty Wicked, Bad Habit, and more to battle and racing in freestyle tracks never before seen in monster truck competition. Part of a 3-show series. Who will be crowned King of the Outlaws? Download the Fight TV app today.
So yeah, get excited for that, fans. That's going to be a good event. And Cheech, since this is your teammate,
don't forget the information. Oh, you're jumping there. You have to tell these people information outside of just the June 29th, Brad. You know, you have to pre-order. It's at $20 a pop, and you get to see mini monster trucks, pro mods, which is basically awesome, and the 6 monster trucks that are there. $20 starts June 29th. Live on demand, not live, but taped, but it's on pay-per-view on Flight TV. And go there, take a look, support, and go from there. But now, since Brad's already told me about it, I'm going to do the intro anyway. This is our back channel production 4-wheel drive Jamboree series. We are going to go through all the drivers of the 4-wheel drive Jamboree series for this year. And this is going to be his third year running. He is the second half of the Hall Brothers stable. He has many faces. He has a lot of stuff to fill out because what he drives. Outside of the Ram sponsorship, he drives Hotsy. And then now he's also going to be driving and representing the General Tire General for the 3rd year in a row. And he is, my teammate also. And that would be Kurt Kraehmer. So there he is right there. How's it going, Kurt?
What's going on, Dan? What's going on, Brad?
Excited for this one?
Not much.
This is going to be a good one, man.
Not much, yep. So,
really excited. Like Dan introduced me well, this 3rd year for General Tire. Hall Brothers has ran this truck one other time before. Dale debuted the Hall Brothers General Tire General, and then we stepped away for a year and then came back, and they wanted us to do it again. And so it's excited to do this 3 years in a row, and we got a really good truck, and I'm glad to say that I've taken the General Tire General to, I think, and you guys might need to cite me on this, and somebody will correct me on this, but the highest place finish that truck's received in Jamboree history. So I think that's pretty cool.
You know, the interesting thing about the General Tire General is, like, many teams have kind of run the General Tire sponsorship, and I feel like you guys with Hall Brothers have been the most successful with it. I believe the Team Scream guys have run it. I'm not too sure who else has run it, but I believe
Beast.
You guys. Oh,
Holman's
Team
Beast.
Beast, the Holman brother, the Holman team. But you guys have been more successful with it than any other team.
Well, that's a testament to our trucks, keeping them maintained in the shop and working on them. We got a killer graphics package with it that really lends itself. General Tire designed the wrap, but I think it looks really good on our truck, especially this year. Yeah, everybody's in for a treat this year. We're debuting the all-new Ram Power Wagon, 2020 Ram Power Wagon, General Tire General. So really excited about that, and I think it looks better. It looked good on the Crosshair truck of old, but this new 2020 Ram Power Wagon, I think it looks absolutely phenomenal. I think everybody's in for a treat. It's really cool to run Power Wagon. Of course, Ram being our factory sponsor, one of the only factory sponsored monster trucks out there today. So really excited to run that and represent Ram well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. I'm going to be better this season. I had a really good first quarter with Monster Jam. Pretty proud with my performance there. Got to some new heights, got to the top of the pod, got to the racing finals. Did some cool stunts and wheelies and some really good freestyles. So all that's going to transition into a really good Jamboree series. I'm really excited for this year.
Now, also, Brad, I forgot about Doug Nolte. He also did the General Tire for one season too. But for your three, for you know, season number 3, you know, I've been your crew guy for the other 2 years. Now, with going on with this year, have you set a goal for the General Tire General Truck? You know, basically, you know, the bar is the limit. So I mean, you're just raising it up. What's basically your goals for this year?
Well, always your goal is to do better than whatever you did the last time, you know, and my goal is to perform better than the last time I drove the truck and better than the time before that. Everything builds up step by step to just trying to give the ultimate performance, stay within the boundaries. You know, we don't want to get over aggressive and tear stuff up unneedingly, but you also want to perform well. And there's a thin line there, and sometimes you step over it and bad things happen, but sometimes you can walk it right on that narrow edge and give a great performance to where the truck stands up to it and everybody's happy in the end. And to make General Tire happy, for one, they want to see their truck not only look good in the displays, but they want it to run good. So that's part of my responsibility as well.
So this year with the Jamboree, you know, the lineup is similar, but is changed. There's no more Team Bigfoot, which, you know, I believe this is one of the first years without a Bigfoot truck in the 4-wheel Jamborees. You have newcomers like Pretty Wicked and Stinger, Joey with Bad Habit Relapse. Talk about the competition this year, because, you know, like I said, new trucks, some old trucks not coming back. Are you excited to go against anybody new this year? Like, obviously, Joey with Bad Habit, or like, what's your feelings coming towards this 2020 Jamboree season?
Joey Sylvester, never heard of him.
Trash talk alert. Let's go.
No, you know, Zane, I've met him a couple times, never raced against him, but, you know, really good guys. I mean, I'm looking forward to this season. It's definitely a change. I'm looking forward to racing with Rick when we get Lima going again. That's going to be really fun. Rick's a good guy. He's came and helped me out a couple times, and I've worked with him. And I'm a really big fan of the Patrick organization and Rick and Allison. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, and I've never got a chance to race. Like I said, I never really got to race with Zane. But, no, Joey's a good guy. Again, haven't worked with him before. So it's going to be pretty fun. Definitely a step back. You know, it's going to be a different format with USAC run the show this year, and quite a bit different from years past. But I think the fans are in for a much better show this year, so I'm excited for that.
So with the 4-wheel drive Jamboree, you know, what does that mean for you? I remember at the shop you always talked about those shows, and what would it mean for you to be part of it, of the 4-wheel drive Jamboree?
Well, it's huge. Jamborees to me, I remember, you know, I had longed to go to the 4-wheel drive Jamborees. I had always longed to go to them, to the Indy Jamboree specifically. I always wanted to go. And then finally, there was a break in the schedule. Well, finally, there was a break in the team demo schedule because Indy weekend would always fall on one of the team demo schedules, and I was always working that. I was either racing it or before that working as a crew guy there. So finally, it happened where it wasn't on a team demo weekend, and my buddy and I, we road trip down to Indianapolis, and I was blown away by it. It was cool, the parade of trucks and everything, and I always thought it'd be great to be part of that. And so many years later, now I get to race in it. So it's really cool to stand on top of that tire at introductions, be introduced, and to come from the fan in the stands to being one of the performers. It's really awesome. I always view the Jamborees as kind of hallowed ground, especially Indy holds a special place in my heart, and it's cool to go racing there.
So with USAC taking over, and we talked to Mark about this, the track layouts are going to be definitely different from previous years. You know, they did some stuff in the early 2000s and like the 2010s. Did some like S turn courses, but it was predominantly straight line drags. And from what it looks like, it's kind of like a J turn for the first event in Bloomsburg. Are you excited about the USAC coming in and kind of switching things up? And Joey Sylvester is also involved in a lot of the track making, I believe. So, are you excited about any of that right now?
Well, I know Joey's a hardcore racer. That's what I've understood about him, and he's going to make a track that's fair for everybody. It's going to be a fun track. So I'm not worried so much about the track at all. My first ever round win came on a straight line course. So then it's like all I wanted to do was run straight line. But then when you start learning how to win at turning courses, well, now I think I'm better at turning courses than I am some of the straight line stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I know Joey's going to build a good track. I'm excited to race on it. This is going to be really fun. It's going to be a step down with not as many monster truck races, but that certainly makes it easier on our side of things to not having as many races in a weekend. But all that does, though, for the fans is ups the chances that they're going to have really good shows with all the trucks competing at both times we race. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, I always joke around with Kurt and call him the Mick Foley of our team because he has so many different faces. When I say that, he has many different identities. This year, people may not know that he got into the seat of Rammunition and driving that truck, but he's always been known to be driving the hot seat truck. Now you're being the general truck for your third time. How do you mentally prepare yourself to drive different? Basically, that's not even different names anymore. You're driving 3 different sponsored trucks in a time period of a year. How do you get your mental focus on handling that task?
Well, each sponsorship has their different requirements. However, in the end, it's usually just a matter of the body change. No matter what, I'm always driving the same chassis generally. There are some times where, I'm going to have to drive a different body on a different chassis. That always happens to come up schedule-wise. But, no, I'm really, when it comes to taking care of Hotsy, by the way, this is their 50th year, 1970 to 2020. Big year for them. Very excited to be part of the Hotsy. They were the ones, that was my first ride, so that's always special in my heart. And I'm looking forward to getting back out there for Hotsy and campaigning the Hotsy truck. We debuted, what was it? Not this year, but last year we debuted the black. Last year we debuted the black and red truck, and that was cool. Is cool for me to debut a kind of a change up to the graphic design. And then of course, now stepping into the hallowed grounds and driving Rammunitions, sliding into that takes special care too, because again, Ram primary sponsor, factory sponsor, they take really good care of us, and that adds a lot of added pressure. There's always been pretty much just one Rammunition, and several Raminators often running at the same time. So when you're operating the sole identity of that one truck, it puts some pressure on you. That truck always performs well, so you want to keep up the proud history in that identity to keep that running in its same level. And it takes a step up as a driver to climb into running that identity. And then General Tire, They're important to us and important to the Jamborees, the title sponsor of the Monster Truck Show, the General Tire Thunder Drags. So, again, like I said earlier, they not only want their truck to look good, but they want it to perform good, and General Tires, they're really high-end, really great tires, and I encourage anybody that's looking into tires to look at Generals. You're going to be very happy with them. I've got them on my Jeep. Cheech has them on his Ram. And soon my project truck at the shop will be getting hopefully a set of Generals. So, I'm General Tire all the way, and you could call it whatever you want, but just call it the same thing every time.
So let's kind of get a little bit away from the monster truck stuff. You're mentioning Team Demo. And I know what Team Demo is because back in the day, Lucas Oil on the Edge on Speed Channel would do a lot with that. And shout out to Jason Twite. You still broke Bigfoot. I'm always going to say that. So talk about Team Demo. If somebody doesn't know what Team Demolition is, what is it?
Well, this is a program that started at Santa Fe Speedway, which is a now shuttered track. It's been shuttered for a while. Basically, it's demolition derby in a way that most people aren't accustomed to. It's part racing, but pretty much all demo. It's like roller derby with full-size cars. You have 8 teams originally, and 4 cars on a team per round. So it's 4 cars on a team, so it's 8 cars out there total, and they face off against each other. And the objective is the first team to get one of their cars to complete 5 laps wins. But what makes it demo is that the other cars can run blockers, so they can turn around, run the opposite way. They can cut across the infield. It's all open. What defines the laps are 4 tractor tires out there. So you have to go around the outside of the tractor tires across the flag stand 5 times in order to secure a round win. Then you go on to the next round that night. So if you're hoping to go all the way to the finals and win the finals, if you're hoping to go all the way to the finals, you need at least 12 cars. So it takes a lot of logistics to get all those cars there for the day and prepare them. And, it was a fun time. And that was something I always wanted to break into. It's hard breaking it. It was just probably as hard to break into the Team Demo than it was to break into monster trucks at first. People have to show you a lot of trust before you can get into the car at the time. And, it was fun. It was fun. And, that was kind of my break into monster trucks. I got my start learning just the basics, working on demo cars and building demo cars. Even I was a crew guy there before I drove. Worked on cars, hauled cars, and up late nights and early mornings trying to get everything ready. And it was a lot of hard work, and but it was a lot of fun. I took some hard hits in those years, and my first years just back then were not as great as my first years driving here. You take a lot of hard knocks and a lot of lumps, but you get past it, and you have some good times. One of my favorite memories from that was I don't want to go into a lot of backstory with it, but long story short, I was representing a team owner that didn't know how to run his team. And I was going to be the only car out there against 4 other cars for a first round. It was pretty much the other team brought out their worst cars because they knew it was an easy round win. They were going to only pretty much pick off one guy. And then right at the starting line, my buddy, Steve, who got me into this, a buddy of now I'm proud to say 20 years now, over 20 years we've been friends. Shout out to Steve Ballbrick. I don't know if he's watching or not, but he got me into all of a sudden he lines up behind me, and not behind me, he passed me and got in line in front of me, just motioning, me and you, buddy, me and you. And then we went out, and I decided to be a blocker that time. So I went around the opposite way, took out the opposing team's one good car with the head-on hit, proceeded to get stuck on that car. So I didn't do, other than that one good hit, I was kind of out, but he took out the other cars, which, like I said, were barely running, and then he proceeded to run laps and we won that round, a 2-on-4 victor, over the odds victory. So that sticks out as one of my favorite team demo memories anyway.
So did you guys normally travel, or there was always one place like the Weekend Warrior Getaway?
No, it was always, it was a Santa Fe Speedway program that got brought to Route 66 Raceway in Joliet, and that's where it's hosted. During its time, during its heyday, it was a sold out standing room only event. They sold out. They do one a month in the summer. I think 4 or 5 races a year. So, and they were almost sold out every time. And then there's a points championship and a banquet at the end of the year. It was really cool. And then after I left the team stuff, part of their intermission event was running, like when they used to do intermission acts. Matter of fact, they had monster trucks there a couple times, and I tried to get my foot in the door there. And then they used to do jet car meltdowns, and Fred Sibley would be there, and he'd come out with his beer wagon and burn down a car. But then they started hosting independent racing there as intermission between rounds of team demo, and then I built myself some figure 8 cars, and that's where I had a little medium of success. I built some pretty cool figure 8 cars and got to race and kind of do my own thing there, and yet another foot in the door, learning things. It's all a learning process. I've been working at getting into monster trucks ever since I was a little kid. I got something saved in the garage that I think I wrote in first grade about being a monster truck driver. It's taken a long time to get there, but the journey that you don't even realize you're on is always the funnest part about climbing the rungs and to get into where you want to be. And it's important for people to have dreams and to keep following them, no matter what the adversity, no matter how many people think it's stupid or foolish. You can get there. You just got to keep digging in there, keep driving, keep claw for every inch, and you'll get there. You just have to keep working at it. And, all that team demo stuff, that was all just part of the journey. It was all collaborative. It was the closest I could get to monster trucks at the time. And how close is team demo to monster trucks? Not very, probably not even at all, but it at least learned mechanics. It showed me about working with a team and being on a race team, although people don't want to call it racing. But anybody that knocks it should try and be a crew guy and build the cars and work on the cars. It was something special there for the time.
So talk a little bit about the figure 8 stuff, because I gotta think that probably is nervous when you're trying to shoot the gap and you see cars coming this way. Is that nerve-wracking when you're doing that, or did it come like it was like it's just another day in the office?
Oh, it is. My very first figure 8 race was Jan Gabriel, who of course very well known to monster truck circuit. He was the one that brought team demo to Route 66, and that was kind of his baby that he promoted. And so he set up this night. It was aside from the team demo. It was a night he called Masters of Disaster, and they had like school bus racing and what was it? And figure 8 was part of that. So, but he didn't run it as well as he ran the demos. And my buddy Steve, he from Team Demo fame, my buddy, a long time. He built a car, and I built a car. And at the time, I wasn't running Team Demo. I never got to race with him ever. And so this was cool. And one of our other buddies built a car. So us 3 buddies were going to go out there in this field of figure 8 cars. We're going to go racing. And I built a really cool car, painted up like an old P-51 Mustang. Matter of fact, all my figure 8 cars were all aviation based, and that's why I somewhat jokingly called my team Warbirds Racing, because I painted them all like old bombers and old World War II planes. It was kind of cool. And I did that, and we went out, and I went around the first. I got around maybe almost a full lap, and Jan didn't water down the track because he felt it would be too muddy. It was a huge dust bowl. You couldn't see anything. And I approached I approached the crossover. I knew it was like driving in a brown fog, and I tried darting across it. And one of the two cars I wasn't supposed to hit because they're driven by a couple of hotheads, very well known hotheads, had crossed right in front of me. I blasted him, and so hard that his momentum shifted my frame over into my steering linkage and jammed up my steering. I was done right off the bat, so it was really disappointing to my first figure eight. But it is nerve wracking. I kind of glance both ways and know hopefully how well my car accelerates. If it's getting good. When you're doing the intermission for the team demos, though, you're on the demo track and they water it down considerably, and you have to make sure that you have good biting tires on the back, which I did. And a good buddy of mine, Brian Anderson, helped hook me up with a set of tires, and so did Steve. And I had some really good super swampers on that car, so I'd always look and hope to stand on it, get across, and there always is that little tinge of nervousness as you're crossing before you're kind of clear from it, where you go continue right on around, go around the turn, and then shoot across, do it again and again and again. So I placed pretty high in that and did all right in the standings for that, the year end. And 2011, I took home the award for best appearing figure eight car. Apparently, people must have liked the World War II theme, and it earned me that award. And that's up on my little, trophy case, as you will. So very proud of that history. So
nice. So let's talk about this first quarter, because you went to I guess we could say you went to Monster Jam University and got your degree in monster truck driving with the professor Tom Mentz and Taka. But anyway, how was the experience like there, and having both Mark Hall and Tom Mentz helping you out? There got to be so much information there, because that's like almost 40 plus years of drivers.
Oh yeah, Monster Jam University was really fun. It was great to be a part of that. It's very highly touted, of course, in Monster Jam circles, but I wasn't going there for that. I was going there to learn, and they have the pod set up out there, and we took the body off the truck and made special preparations to go do this thing, and for the first time, I started really feeling at home in the truck, and I guess it really upped the confidence level. And that was kind of the overall goal of going to Monster Jam University is learning, and learning the truck a little bit better, learning how to hit the jumps, staying off the wall, staying in bounds, big part of it. Didn't have so much trouble with that. But learning how to wheelie the truck and perform better. So I'm very thankful that Tim and Mark gave me the opportunity to go there and learn from Tom. And having Mark there was certainly a big help too. He talked me through a few things, and especially when you hear him say, "Man, that looked like a good race pass when we were practicing racing." That meant a lot coming from him, because I know he knows what a good race pass looks like. So that certainly helped me win some rounds this first quarter.
How was it? Did you just train on the pods? Because I don't know the layout of the shop and where the university is, but did you just primarily stick with the stuff for the arena tour? Or did you do some other stuff, learn how to do the poppers and stuff like that? Did they kind of walk you through any of that?
We could have if we optioned to do it, but that was going to be a whole other class unto itself. We just kind of wanted to do a general arena setup with racing and two-wheel skills, and then practice a freestyle. You practice a freestyle flow, getting the flow down where one move connects to another move and hitting every obstacle, so that you're doing less of the backing up and turning around and getting square, where you can just hit one thing, get down to the other side and turn sharp and go hit the other side of the obstacle. And getting a good flow down for freestyle, and then learning how to hit those obstacles, learning which ones are more aggressive than the other ones. And, the 8-pack and the log ride and the pipe, as I call it, and my favorite, though, first quarter, I really like that log ride. It bit me maybe twice this season, but I do like the log ride. It's fun. And I got some good hits off the pipe. The 8-pack is intimidating, but I did all right hitting that. And, I had a lot of fun this first quarter. There were some late nights and some minor hiccups, but we got through it. That's what makes us a good team. We get through it.
And another thing I think was pretty neat is everyone had their unique moves during two-wheel skill, if you think about it. A couple of the guys did the poppers or the nose, wheelies and stuff like that. But you kind of mastered the kind of the slow wheelie where you go on the log and you just ride it out like that and, land it kind of before you go to the other side of it. And basically with Monster Jam University doing that stuff, but you kind of mastered that on your own at the shows. And what got you intrigued doing that move?
Well, it just comes, when you start learning, thanks to Monster Jam University, when you start learning how the truck's going to react and what it does when it's in those certain attitudes, by looking out the windshield, glancing down through the floorboard, those are some of them. They're cool, but they're also hair raising because, it's not like doing a slap wheelie out in the Jamboree series, let's say, where you have tons of room. That pod's only X amount wide. So when you're standing up and you can't really see and you kind of, I do it by trying to glance down through the floorboards and looking up at the stadium lights, seeing how far the truck has traveled, knowing when to get out of it and land it down on the ground. It's still a work in progress. Still got some ways to go when we get back to that, to perfecting it to where I can do it every time right off the bat. Like I said, one time it bit me pretty good. It bit me twice this year, and we got through it. And it's kind of learning what not to do for the next time, so you don't do it again. But the one time, sometimes you just run out of luck. The one I fell backwards off the top of the pod, and it stung, and the dirt gave way. You can't really predict that, can't really plan on it. The dirt gave way, and I fell over backwards, and that was probably the hardest thing I felt since my time in team demo. So that was a stinger, and not something that I really want to repeat again. So to say nothing about the truck damage, I mean, it physically hurt falling off the top of the pod like that. So don't want to do it again, but we don't focus on the bad. We pick ourselves up and we move forward, and that's really important.
So let's
Any questions or comments there, Brad?
I'm looking at it some.
Okay.
Comment from Paul Harry. He says, "Hey everyone." Shannon Stochich says, "Shannon Ball rules." I don't know if that's one of the old team demo people.
That's
there.
my sister.
Okay.
She's a roller derby. Her nickname's Shannon Ball.
Comment from Justin Heaton says, "Can't wait for the Jamborees. Looking forward to Indy." Comment there from Mr. Trent Montgomery. Zoom, zoom. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, which we had you on the, I don't know what Cheech is doing. We had you on the audio version a while back, and we were talking about music. Now, I'm a huge music nerd. Music is a daily part of my life. I'm into the heavy stuff. Talk about, your love for music and your love for Mushroomhead. Not a lot of people know that you're a huge Mushroomhead fan.
Yeah. Mushroomhead, they're probably my favorite band. I'd have to say, bar none, they're my favorite band. I'm into all kinds of music. Classic rock is on my playlist now. But yeah, Mushroomhead, really big weekend for them in general. They got a new album coming out tomorrow, A Wonderful Life. you guys haven't heard of them, check it out. It's really good. They got 2 songs out now as teasers from the new album on Spotify or your streaming service. Check them out. And I'm really excited. It's their first new album in 6 years. So really excited about that. But you know why it takes so long is they're a working band. And just like us, we're shuttered into. We can't travel, can't do gigs. But they put together a really good album. I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I'm into just about everything. I like REO Speedwagon a lot. Got into them. Yeah, they're an older band, but they play one great show live. So, but yeah, really, really a lot of cool thing. I love listening to music. It helps get you through. So, you know, I it's funny, when I was a kid, I was never really a metal fan. Metallica was probably, the Black Album was probably the first album I really listened to, and then I got out of it and listened to just soundtracks. Really, oddly enough, I collected soundtracks because I didn't know bands, and then I think my first favorite metal band, the band that really got me into metal, was Rammstein. And seeing their shows and stuff, I got big into Rammstein for a while. I was really excited. I get really excited when they go on tour, and and now they were going to do this North American tour, which of course got shut down due to COVID-19 and the current situation that's going on with that. But yeah, Rammstein got me into it. Then I delved into other metal and stuff. So. And then found Mushroomhead, and I don't know what it is with the band. I don't know if it's the imagery and there's just a perfect storm there. The imagery, the stage presence, and then the music, it all melds into one. They put out a really quality album. I've met them several times, and they're really cool guys. Honestly, really respectful of their fans, and that means a lot to me. So. But yeah, so music's a big part of it, and I listen to my playlist rolling down the road when we're on the way to a show and that, and I love a good concert. Can't argue with that.
I went to his last concert, and we were there for a good while, but it was Static X, which was pretty cool. But Mushroomhead was there opening up, and it was pretty good. I mean, I guess the Mushroomhead bug's going around the team because one of our younger crew guys, Kurt, got him hooked on Mushroomhead. We actually asked him to go to the show once, and he said, "It's not for me, I don't like it, blah, 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 blah." And then guess who's listening now? But anyway, it's the way it goes. Well, but I mean, go ahead, Kurt.
I get it. I get a kick out of it. Remember the day when we find out that Jeff Cook likes Mushroomhead and Marty Garza likes Mushroomhead, mm-hmm. and we had to bring it up to Tim. How does it feel? Your 2 best friends like Mushroomhead.
Yeah, I love he that. And then we tried to get Mark to go to a concert, and then it's like, I don't know.
Okay, I'll ask this. What's your favorite Mushroomhead song? Mine, I don't listen to them a lot, but mine, it's gonna be probably typical. "Sun Doesn't Rise." I love that song.
Yeah. If it comes down to favorite song, mine's "Out of My Mind." I think that one sticks out. That's off their last album, and then probably a close second is "Kill Tomorrow." That's off of the 13 album. But "Solitaire Unraveling," I mean, I could go on all day. And there's some songs I like. I'm a big fan, but I don't even have all the song names memorized. I just know where they are on the CD. And yeah, that kind of dates me. I used to collect CDs, and I'll buy this new album, even though it might play on streaming. I'll buy this new album to help, further support the band. It's kind of cool. It's to me, it's always cool to have a physical CD, even if it never gets played. You can't sign your phone as a stream, but you can get a CD signed. So, I think it's always cool to have the physical album, and they make you think, oh well, they're rock stars, they have all this money, and well, yeah, they might make money, but they make money just like any one of us off merch sales, off album sales, by people going to their shows. There's no shows, there's no money. So
there's nothing like getting the actual copy and reading the book inside. Like there's no better feeling than that. And you mentioned Metallica, which is my favorite band. I wasn't a big fan of the Black Album. I was more of a And Justice for All era fan. So, but I agree with you. I still buy CDs to this day. I'm old school like that. I prefer, especially my car only has CD player. It doesn't have modern technology. But there's something about this, having the physical copy just makes it so much better.
I was ironically, I just looked back in my back seat of my Jeep today to make. I was looking for something, and there's one of my CD books is in there. Big binder full. But it's so funny now with I use Spotify for instance, but now you have all that. You don't even have to lug all that around. It's on your, it's right on your phone. And provided you have internet connection or a premium account where you can, have the downloadable playlist, you've got all that, at your fingertips. Provided you have battery power on your phone and a speaker of some sort, you can listen to it anywhere without lugging binders full of CDs. I still remember cassette tapes, and I had some of those growing up. And you fold out the book to read the lyrics. And so yeah, I remember going to get CDs. Funny CD story. I hate to say it, but Transformers the movie, not the Michael Bay one, the animated one from maybe '6 or whatever it was. The soundtrack to that, Very Rare Bird. I actually rode my bicycle to go get that soundtrack. So that was kind of my funny CD stories. A lot of classic 80s rock on that one. Kind of cheesy 80s rock, but 80s rock nonetheless. And but yeah, I've been working at, it took a while for my musical taste to develop, but, at least I got one now. I can identify bands. I don't have to buy soundtracks all the time. So that was a great school thing. But.
I was writing down some cliff notes, and I forgot to not mention your 77 Dodge Power Wagon, Agent Orange. I think it's to get popular as you are, Kurt. Talk about that project, because a lot of people may be interested in rebuilding vehicles.
Yeah, this has been a fun project. This is one of those projects, that I've always wanted to build my own motor. That's where the genesis for this project was. Actually, I used to have a late '70s Ford, a blue one, and that was going to be my project, but I had to get rid of it a few years ago, and so I got rid of it, and this was kind of a rebirth of that. I wanted to get in and build my own motor. It was just something that spurned on from my early days, and interested in motor building. So, and I wanted to keep it Chrysler. Chryslers are cool, and the company overall sponsors the team. So I wanted to do a Chrysler project. And it's one of the projects where I got the motor first. I got a 440 block. Found a 440 block for sale out of a Chrysler 300, and I started getting the block redone. And the question is, what was I going to put it in? And I thought about an 80s Dodge, because I kind of like the crosshair grills in those. And then I found this late 70s one, 77, and was orange. And I found it, and it already had a 440 in it, which would aid the insertion of my motor into it. So I picked that up, and been working on it ever since. And it's been a lot of headaches. I picked it up not running. It was told it had an electrical problem. Well, it had more than there's a huge bird's nest of wires sitting right on top of the brake booster. That was all hodgepodge, and everybody at the shop has had their hands in it at one time or two, and people get behind it, and it's kind of become, I've created a Facebook photo album, and I try to update that, and I'm not bragging about the project, but it's kind of for my own documenting, because as much fun as I had back in the team demo days, I never took any photos of hardly anything. There's very few photos that existed of my cars and the work I did there. So I want to make up for that. I take photos of try to take photos of every step I make on this, and some were a little more detailed than others, but it's coming along. Matter of fact, just today I put a different steering wheel in it, real walnut grip on my steering wheel. So it's got a wooden grip 3-spoke steering wheel in it now. Looks really cool. Really fits the theme. It was orange when I got it. Orange with the bottom rocker panel is silver, and I've decided I've got a cool burnt orange metallic paint that Duplicolor makes. It's going to be its new orange, and then I'm going to change the rocker panel to black. And I built a winch bumper for it on the front. Just got that back from powder coated, installed. Dan helped me with that, and installed the winch in it. And I tell you, this truck, I've had my hands in just about everything. There's probably not one thing on that was okay, but it's just like getting the seat in the monster truck. It's one step at a time. It's one thing to fix at a time, and another thing, and another thing. And sometimes there's things that break out of that you weren't expecting to be broke, and now you got to fix it. So there's always hurdles to overcome. But it's going to be a cool project, and it's not I want to clarify. A lot of people thought I might offend somebody by calling it Agent Orange because of the deadly chemical that was used. It's not in reference to the chemical that was used in Vietnam. I've got actually a pretty cool characterization I made up for it, referencing a secret agent. To me, it was just a name that fit the orange color that I just nicknamed it, because I think every truck, especially since monster truck era, every truck needs a nickname or identity. So that's just what we call it. And I don't, it's not referencing the chemical. It's referencing a stylized secret agent, if you will. So it makes sense when you see the logo I made. So
Hey, Cheech, do you hear that? Do you hear that, Cheech? It's time for the 10-minute warning! So,
okay.
I'm calling it a 10-minute warning, the last about 10 or so minutes of the show. So, Kurt, we're going to ask you a bunch of different questions. Some of our typical, routine questions, some maybe new ones. Cheech, you got the pen and paper handy, my dude?
I already showed you.
Okay. First and do you have Kurt's previous answer on that or no?
Negative.
So, okay, so we're starting fresh. Kurt Kraehmer, what is your favorite kind of pie?
Ooh, French silk.
That's a new one.
Tied for fourth.
What's French silk? What is that?
Like chocolate. It's essentially chocolate, but
okay.
My mom used to make this thing called mousse pie, which was essentially just chocolate pie with an Oreo crust. Man, it was the bee's knees. That was great stuff. But for something that's readily available, it's French silk all the way.
Okay, that's a new one. That breaks
fourth.
That breaks the streak of 3 consecutive chocolate peanut butter.
Yeah.
Okay, so question: Do you know Philip and Christian Norman at all?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
On the Jamboree series a couple years ago. Yep.
Okay, so this question kind of references them and the little feud that me and Cheech have with those two guys. Are you a fan of eggnog or do you despise it?
Oh, hold on a second. I think I just. Yeah, I despise it.
Yes, as I always say, suck on that, Norman Brothers.
26 to 24.
Hey, we're winning finally. We're gonna have to rub it in those guys' face. By the way, Cheech.
Yeah.
You have any of your typical questions you want to ask?
Yeah. Well, with Ron Bachman, always a great guy, and we always tell our guests about, if they had any stories or always want to talk about them. Do you have any good stories to tell about the guy? Because, I mean, I consider him one of my good friends before he passed away, and I always like how people honor him.
Well, yeah. On the Monster Nationals tour, he was helping out Josh Gibson at the time. He was his crew guy. So yeah, I got to meet with him quite a bit, and it's funny. Josh would show that he was actually I don't know how many people know this, but he was one of the members of the Battle Battalion from the old Blood, Sweat, and Gears USHRA tape. He was one of the members of the Battle Battalion, and
Sergeant Slaughter.
yep, Sergeant Slaughter, and so that was pretty cool. Um, and you know, uh, Tim tells the story about how they were ordering from drive-through, and the lady they were waiting on their food, and the lady finally brought it out to him. Sorry about your wait. Well, goddamn it, so am I. I'm doing the best I can. So I like that story.
See, it's funny that you mentioned Blood, Sweat, and Gears because me and Cheech did that for a watch along. Which that video is just a classic. Like Sergeant Slaughter tried to do his best to mimic the guitar in the song, and oh man, what a video that was!
The funny thing is when me and Kurt are on the road, I blare the song. Kurt can't deny
Yeah.
that. I played the song while we're on the road trip. Big Bad and Blown. I play that song while going down the road.
Bad and blown. So
and we do a joke. We have a joke that
have
we
a jam a
one of
good
our guys.
time.
Yeah, jam a good time. But we always want to do this with our crew guy, and we want him to get in the cab of a truck, sticks his thumb out, and they goes have a nader good time. And we just think it'd be funny just seeing him because we talk about Nader Jam, and I'll give a shout out to Nathan Smith, but we call it like Nader Jam or have a Nader good time. It's a joke internally inside the team, but we always thought it'd be cool him being like representing like Jim Kraehmer and go have a Nader good time.
see, I need to clip that and play that at the end of every episode after I say my usual thing. That should be a thing from now on.
Be like having. Go ahead, Kurt.
The video store. Yeah, the video store. Not many people, youngins, will know what that is. But the video store by my house, where I grew up, they only had a selection of they had Blood, Sweat, and Gears and the Moto Rock one, and I think at one point they had War of the Monster Trucks, but that was that was it. I mean, and then my dad he had brought some videos home. He was a traveling he was a traveling automotive technician trainer, and so he'd stop by St. Louis and bring me back some videos. So I had some of those in my collection. But I just wore those out. But yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Gears all the way.
So the new kind of segment is we're gonna play a word association game. So I'm gonna say either a truck, a driver, something within the industry, and the first thing that pops to your mind, say it. When we had Mark on, we would say the name, he'd say the truck, or so whatever pops to your mind as soon as we say it, just go right out. So I'll start. Let's say Monster Patrol.
Ooh, Schaefer.
Bigfoot.
Jim Kraehmer.
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's go USHRA.
No relation. I'm just gonna say Moto Rock.
Yeah. How about Bob Chandler?
Bigfoot 1.
Let's go Andy Brass.
The the Bigfoot Ranger.
Mark and Tim Hall.
Ooh. Trying to remain employed.
Okay.
Good
Dan,
guys.
How about Dan
Mary.
G.J. Gosh?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh. Fun.
Thank you. Let's go with Jan Gabriel.
Ooh. Good promoter.
What about Fred Schaefer?
Fred Schaefer. Barefoot.
Let's go with Kenny Chesney.
Ooh, No Shoes Radio.
Let's go with General Tire.
Great brand of tires. Ding.
I was expecting you to, like, tip your hat or something.
Yeah. Let's go with Hotsy.
50 years.
Let's go Penda Series.
Fast racing.
This is gonna be my last one. Warbird.
Ooh. Figure 8 cars.
And then this will be my last one, Mushroom Head.
Great band. Check them out. A Wonderful Life comes out tomorrow.
But you got how about what about a pucker moment? You ever have a pucker moment yet in a monster truck?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to, it's funny, you could ask these questions, and there is one, and I'll probably remember it tomorrow, that one that really sticks out. But certainly last year's Jamboree and the rollover there, coming off the slap wheelie, that was certainly a pucker moment. But you know what? Honestly, I gotta defer to that the falling backwards off the pod. That certainly was the pucker moment there. I'm just glad everything came out of that okay.
Even though we do represent high octane coffee on this podcast, I'm gonna ask this. I haven't asked it in a while. Cheech knows what it is. I don't know. Have you traveled around Canada before, like to some of the events?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've my first race was in Toronto.
Okay, so I'll ask this: Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts? I have to ask it.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, come on.
I know. I knew you'd probably be offended there, Brad, but
oh boy.
to note, Tim Hortons, I will say, good coffee, really good coffee. I did a couple farm shows up there last year for Hottie. Again, 50 years. It's what the pros use. And the one guy would always go out and bring Tim Hortons for us there at the booth. And Tim Hortons, really good coffee. Really good coffee.
That Tim Hortons is like a religion in Canada.
Tell you what. But I am any information or social media people can follow you at, Kurt?
Yeah, they can follow me on. I do have a Twitter. I don't tweet a lot, but I do have a Twitter. I do have Instagram and of course Facebook. For more monster truck related stuff and some of the fun stuff, I definitely follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I think Instagram's Kraehmer Man 81, and you're just gonna have to search me. I don't know what it is, but offhand, I think it's just my name. Yeah, I think it's just my name. It's easy to find me. I've got my monster truck profile pickup. I think on both. So my Facebook. I mean, you can friend me. I just, I don't vet that much, but it is kind of I don't have a fan Facebook page, so it is my personal page. So obviously
Your friend
any
Shannon
opinions.
says you need. Your friend Shannon says that you need a TikTok.
No.
Well, that ended that question.
But yeah, just anybody that follows me on Facebook, the comments or opinions shared do not necessarily reflect that of Hall Brothers Racing and or of Ram, Hotsy, General Tire. So, but I'm really not that. I don't post a lot on my Facebook page, but I'm just saying that's my personal page, whereas the other ones are kind of more fan based. So.
Well, your wife says you can't handle TikTok.
Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not. But I know. Don't you guys usually? I'm gonna take over your podcast here. Don't you guys usually talk about a rental car story?
Oh, we almost forgot. Yeah. Do you have any of those? Do you have any interesting ones?
I'm gonna sidestep you. It's not quite a rental car story. The only connection to rental car it has is because my buddy Steve and I, I bought this winter car just to drive in the winter because I had an A2 Trans Am, black one, yes, Knight Rider, that one, and I'd put it in. I've tried to save it from the salt. Not only that, it's to drive one of those in the winter. I forget about it. So I parked it in the wintertime, and I bought this 73 Olds Omega, basically like a Nova. And to drive around the winter, it's rusted. Brakes didn't work when I bought it. I had all this brake work done to it, and my buddy, he drive all these old 70s cars. Well, I came out of work one day, worked at a department store, and it had sleeted. And I'm walking out, I'm like, hey, I thought I parked my car here. And I'm walking to where the parking stall where I thought I had parked my car. Well, I did park it there. Where was my car? My buddy's pushing it across the parking lot with his big 70s station wagon. So I had to open the door, dive into it, start it while he was still pushing it, and then we proceeded to cruise up and down the streets, reminiscent of the scene in Days of Thunder where we're just kind of slamming into each other and chasing each other around. And it was funny. I was at a stoplight, and boom, he rear-ends me, and he's still like pushing me slightly. And the lady in the car next to me is like, hey, he's hitting you. I said, I know. And we went into Walmart, and we parked nose to nose, like bumper on top of bumper, and as just being young and reckless at the time, and it was all fun and games till he hit me one time, and one of the gas tank straps broke, and the gas tank was hanging. It was hanging by one of the straps, and that car was kind of done after that one night. But it was fun time. So again, not quite a rental car story, but its connection to rental cars via Days of Thunder. So I figured I wanted to segue into that, tell a funny, reckless story. So
that's actually the second reference to that scene this week. We were talking to Mark about him and Dan Runty, and they're having to, like, if they ever went somewhere to go to like eat, it'd be like almost like the scene of Days of Thunder. Have to get separate cars, they'd be just bashing going down the road, and oh man, that's one of my favorite movies. Like, I actually have it somewhere around here. That's probably like my favorite racing movie of all time, I gotta say. Oh, what's Cheech doing? Oh no. Oh no! Normally he gets up to grab a bag of high octane coffee and move it slowly across the screen.
That was for sure one of my favorite movies. But right now my favorite racing movie. Yes.
Oh man, Cheech, you're the man.
My favorite racing movie by far is Rush. I like Rush a lot.
See, an underrated one was Sylvester Stallone in Driven. I feel like that was an underrated movie.
Yeah, I like Driven. Driven was a good one.
Ford
Not as
versus
much.
Ferrari.
Yeah, that one's good. I like that one, but I for some reason I really like Rush. That one, what's weird is that I don't think that one got nearly as the popularity as it probably should have. I don't think it was marketed that well.
No,
Um,
I know. I think it was about what was it, Nicky Lauda and James Hunt?
yeah, yep.
Okay, I have to check that one out. I still need to see Ford versus Ferrari, but we can all agree that Shake, Battle, and Roll, like any of like the old '80s monster truck movies, is still better than any of those.
Sorry, I had to put my CD
Yep.
back.
But Cheech, anything else before we end this joint, man?
No, not really. I'll see him at work tomorrow. But actually, outside before we go, I'd like to thank Bonnier and the four-wheel drive people and General Tire, Ram, including Hotsy. Well, I mean, all these folks that are helping out with Hall Brothers and also helping out with the four-wheel drive Jamboree. Make sure we'll be announcing another driver that will be doing the four-wheel drive Jamboree. We got two more left. I already released the couple for Tuesday, so there's two more drivers left. So you'll have to find out who's who. But outside of that, once again, I think it's July 10th, 11th, and 12th at Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, Bloomsburg Fairgrounds. The four-wheel drive Jamboree starts then. But outside of that, also June 29th, FITE.com. Take a look at Joey Sylvester's Outlaw Drags, and help support these guys. $20 a pop. Go ahead. We still have T-shirts for sale. Go on our website. And about if you guys get 25 T-shirts sold, Brad be able to get another design.
Yeah.
So and go from there. 6B Apparel, thank you for the crew shirts. That guy still hasn't got his yet, but this guy has.
Hey,
And,
it's in Canada. It's in Canada, and it said it's on its way. So it's coming. It's coming.
Buy Moose. Buy Moose. So.
Oh my goodness! I'm like anticipating it. It's
there's off topic. There's a show that was on Netflix I've been watching. I guess there's a Northern Territory, and
Yep.
there's this carrier group that has like DC-3s, old World War II airplanes, and they carry goods to that destination back and forth.
Yep.
I forget the name of it, but
was it Buffalo Airways? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buffalo Airways.
My dad actually has like a hoodie and some other stuff from them. That was very popular. Up in the Northwest Territories, like Nunavut and a lot of places like that, it's very hard to get supplies, and that's how they have to do it. They have to do a lot of air transport to be able to get a lot of the stuff they need because they're so desolate up there. So that's I feel like they're the ones that are shipping my shirt right now.
I think we're gonna go with Moose. Buffalo, you got it already.
But
Speaking about Buffalo, I have a cool little story that happened to me yesterday, and Kurt mentioned about it because if I have this happen to me one more time, I'm gonna buy me a lottery ticket. So, short story short, we have a Matco tool guy. I played one of his Earn It to Win games, and I won. And so, fast forward to yesterday, a radio station in Champaign. It's Rewind 92.5. And I'm working on my RC trucks, getting it all cleaned up from last weekend's show. And I'm going, and then they did this show called Name That Sound. And I'm going, and people were answering left and right, and it's wrong. It sounds like a tiger. Some person said tiger. And I answered it right, and the answer was buffalo. A buffalo got it. and I won some package. I think it's a Western Union telegram for some lamp. That's what I'm think I'm getting, and I'm gonna put it in my window right there.
It's gonna
Or
be
maybe
the
it's a
leg
bowling
lamp.
alley.
It's gonna be the leg lamp.
Maybe it's gonna be a Western Union telegram. I'm gonna win a bowling alley. That's what it says. But it was funny because Kurt's like, this boy's getting lucky. I'm like, I'm probably gonna get myself a lottery ticket, and then I'm gonna make. And my first idea is to make a Kurt Kraehmer memorial parking lot, even though he's still alive.
But
As a big parking lot.
But as always, we want to thank the people that support us, like Joy Sylvester at High Octane Coffee. Go get yourself some kick-ass coffee. Jason Ruona and Fred Reap from J Concepts. Go check them out. Backshot Productions, Nick Davis, who's helping out with us right now. We also have JB Scale Graphics, the only graphics company that is licensed with Bigfoot, the Overkill Evolution Team, and Joy Sylvester's Bad Habit Relapse. Marty Garza and his book Monster Truck Technology, go check that out. As well as 6B Apparel. As Cheech also mentioned earlier, we have shirts belowthecollar.com/crushthispodcast. 25 shirts sold. We can put up some more designs, so go do that. We're gonna have some ideas for that.
New design decals too. I got new design decals coming out.
Yeah.
To be the 80s wave decals. I still am gonna produce the engine one, the OG one, because don't get it twisted. We still have, even though Brad has this one, we're still rocking the other one.
Yeah.
So we have two different logos. But I know Kurt can't wait to get his hands on the new wave 80s Crush This one, but that's be coming out soon also.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for a episode of Crush This Live. Thank you to Kurt Kraehmer for coming on. Kurt, any last words you'd like to say to the fans that are watching?
Stay with us, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing all you guys real soon. Like I said, please be safe, follow your health instructions, wash your hands, and we will see you out there real soon. Ram.com, Hotsy.com, GeneralTire.com.
Damn it, Cheech.
Tom Cruise is looking at you.
Why is that so funny right now? So,
Tom Cruise.
We're going to end it off by playing the ad for the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags. We're excited about that. We're excited about the four-wheel Jamboree. Let's get all this going again, guys. We need some horsepower therapy and that sweet, sweet smell of methanol going around the air. So, join us on... Thank you, Kurt. And join us on Tuesday with Zane and Lindsay Ratu. And Cheech will be announcing our guest for next Thursday as well. So, as we always say on Crush This, guys, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up!
Rebellious. Unconventional. A new breed of monster truck competition is coming to Fight TV June 29th. The Outlaw Monster Truck Drags. Presented by High Octane Coffee. Catch Samson, Stinger, Rap Attack, Pretty Wicked, Bad Habit, and more to battle and racing in freestyle tracks never before seen in monster truck competition. Part of a 3-show series. Who will be crowned King of the Outlaws? Download the Fight TV app today.